Hi everyone, Dion Johnson here from fedupatwork.com, and it's day 14 of our 21-day video challenge, Create a Better Work Life. And today's message is called, What Do You Want? Now I know that sounds like a really obvious question, but I tell you, if I had a penny for every time someone said to me, Dion, I don't want this, I don't want that, but I just don't know what I do want, I'd be a rich woman. So in thinking about this, I've come up with like 3 really big things why people usually is at the cause of why people say, I don't know what I want. The first one is that you don't understand the options. So imagine going into a restaurant, right? And the menu is in a different language. So you don't understand what the words mean, or you don't understand the foods. You've never come across these foods before. So you genuinely, when the waiter comes over and says, what do you want? You genuinely don't know, right? So that's the first reason. You just don't understand the options. And the second reason is that there's some kind of blockage, some kind of communication interrupt going on the inside. So put it this way, who's going to know what you want if you don't? The truth is, no one. Like, you're the only one that's going to know what you really want. So when people say they don't know what they want, it's not really the truth. Like, you know what you want. It's just that sometimes there's a communication issue, that your heart or the place of your desire is having problems communicating with your conscious, with your mind. Like you're not hearing yourself. And sometimes that's because there's just so much noise going on in your life and clutter, and you can't hear the woods for the trees. And sometimes that's because we're deliberately, I say deliberately in inverted commas, but unconsciously we're suppressing what we want. We're stopping what we really want from coming into our conscious mind, because then there would be other implications. You know, we're really quite clever, and we protect ourselves from things that we might find challenging, or might find difficult, or might find upsetting the apple cart a little bit. So the second reason is that we're suppressing it in some way, that we're not allowing the revelation of what's going on in our desires to come forward in our understanding and our conscious. The third thing is that you know what you want, and it's in there, but you're just not saying it to the outside world. Like, I remember a client I had once who was working for her husband. She was an executive in his company, and she was his assistant, his right-hand girl, and she hated it. And she really, really knew where she would love to be, but she kept saying, I just don't know what I want. I just don't know what I want. I just don't know what the problem is here. And actually, she didn't want to say, because she didn't want to upset her husband. She didn't want to reveal where her true desires lie, because she felt like a traitor. And sometimes we do that. Sometimes we suppress what we know we want because of some reason, some explanation that we have about why we shouldn't say. Maybe, some people say to me, is it okay to want that? People might think I'm stupid, or people might think I'm above my station, or people might think, who do you think you are wanting something like that? So those are my big 3 reasons why I've noticed people say they don't know what they want. And if you're thinking you don't know what you want, then the idea then is to reconnect you with what you do, because what you want for you, right, it's in there somewhere. We've just got to get you talking to yourself. We've just got to get you understanding your options. We've just got to get you hearing the place of your heart. And so here's my tips for doing that, okay? The first one is get help. So get yourself a coach, get yourself a mentor, get yourself somebody who you can have conversations with that is skilled at bringing out your true desires, and holding up a mirror so that you can really see what it is that you're saying, see what you're reflecting, see what it is that you really want. I spoke a bit about that in a previous video. And get curious about the field, or get curious about that industry, and go and start talking to people in that place. We spoke about this in a previous video. My other tip for finding out what you want is to think themes rather than roles. Now, oftentimes people think, okay, they think in terms of job titles. And I'm saying when you're thinking about what you want, you don't have to know a job title. You don't have to be able to pin it down to an industry or a thing. You just need to be able to think about the themes that, well, I want to work full time, or I don't want to work full time. I want to work part time. I want to work with people, or I want to work travel, or just the themes of it, so that you can then build up a picture and find the job title to suit it a bit later on. That's really, really important, because when oftentimes we limit ourselves by trying to think of job titles that we understand. And I'm saying if you think about themes and then try and fit it in later on, that's a much better way to go. What else can you do? So curious conversations with people who are in the know, getting help from people like me, thinking about your themes, and then I want you to admit to yourself. So it doesn't matter how ludicrous the things that come up, like when your desires come up, they may sound really bizarre, they may sound really highfalutin and a bit sort of up in the stars or out in the zone somewhere. Don't dismiss any of it. Just get it out and acknowledge it. And don't poo-poo it. Don't go, who am I to want that? You are. Just want it. You have. You've got the right to. So just let it out of you and write it down, acknowledge it, okay? It's only when you begin to really acknowledge what you want, take the risk and admit it to yourself. You've got nothing to lose by admitting it to yourself. But when you hear yourself, when you get into contact with what you truly want, then you can make an informed decision about how you move forward to it. So today, and for the rest of this week, and for the rest of these 21 days, I want you to be asking yourself continually and looking for clues about what you really, really want. See you later.